Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm proud to be asked about Imam Khomeini's based in his way of revolution, leadership, and manner of life and teaching the people. So talking about Imam Khomeini is not easy because Imam Khomeini was like his grandfather, Imam Ali alayhi salam, and Holy Prophet, very different than others. We can say multi-aspects, personality that Imam had. At the same time was a poet, at the same time was very sympathetic man. He was the teacher of ethic and akhlaq. At the same time, he was the leader of a revolution and being a very, very high-ranking political. So having such aspects and features for a leader is different than others. And at the same time, being as a marja, a source for the people in their religious teaching. So we can say, because Imam was some man who built himself through the Islamic values and Holy Quran values and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Whatever we can say, Imam was an inspirational, spiritual and influential leader. Why? Because Imam Khomeini was believing in the values that he was telling, and he was acting before advising the others. So such an act and such a feature shaped the personality of Imam Khomeini in the mind of the people as a divine leader, not a politician, not a leader for revolution to come to the power, after that forgetting about the people, or after a few months, few years, the values goes and the people will forget about that. So such a thing in the view of Imam Khomeini was not a revolution. Imam never believed in changing of the figures. So that's why Imam was refusing any armed struggle to have revolution. So Imam was not believe in coup d'etat or any act that only changing the figures of a system. Imam was believing in self-reliance, awakening or awakening the people, and self-building the people. After that goes to the social and communal evolution. So that's why we say Islamic revolution was based on akhlaq, based on divine values. So not to have hypocrisy. Imam was serious and very honest on whatever he was telling to the people. So that's why we say Imam was ethical, because he was the teacher of ethic and akhlaq before being a revolutionary leader. Secondly, Imam was believe in the people and the power of the people. Not means only thinking how to take the vote of the people, after that forgetting about the people and what the people who chosen him. No. Imam was counting on the people, especially the poor people, youngs. So when he was calling on people, all the people were following him, especially the mustazafin, oppressed people or oppressed. But what he was following was not something out of Islamic values and divine values. one of the feature of Imam Khomeini's revolution and he himself was self-confidence. After that, he was taking this self-confidence to the people and making self-national confidence. If there is no self-national confidence for Iranian people, we cannot accept up to 41 years such a big pressures against Iranian people. From 8-year imposed war, all type of inhuman, illegal, and very difficult and strict sanctions, embargo against Iranian people. And how Iranian people sacrificing themselves for the revolution goals. Why? Because Imam was believing in people and never considered himself as a leader, as a guide. He was telling, I'm the servant of the people. If the people call me servant, better to call me leader. That was not a motto or a slogan. It was his belief. And living very simply. Imam was very simple in his private life. No making money, no gathering money, no corruption, nothing like that. Was very pure. And when he died, his family, his son, sent a letter to the judiciary power and sent the list of Imam Khomeini of heritage. It was, the significance of that was some books and some gift given to him, and he also delivered it to the museum and to the people. Even his private belongings, like his fatherland in his villages also, Imam just gifted to the people. So that's why Imam was beloved by the people. No making money of revolution, no making power. No change in his private life before revolution, during the revolution and after revolution. That's why Imam Khomeini was beloved by the people. This leader, can we say, was unique, because if you see in 1979 of people how welcome him, the number of people who sent him off during his funeral ceremony outnumbered. You cannot compare the number of people who welcomed Imam Khomeini when he came from skies with the number of people who sent him off for his last trip to God. Because Imam was open to people and very clear to the people. His life not was like the ordinary politician or groups or the manner of kings, I don't know. Because Imam was following Holy Quran, Holy Prophet, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam teaches. Otherwise he could not lead such a people with empty hand. Why Iranian people still on his own way and truth path that directed by Imam Khomeini and followed by his real successor Ayatollah Imam Khomeini? Why? Because this is the rail based by Imam Khomeini. If you go through this right path, Sirat al-Mustaqim, you will see the result. That's why after 38 years of his demise, still we are commemorating him, still we believe in him, and day by day we are going upper and upper in his love. Imam's loves didn't remain in the Iranian border. How? Because Imam was beloved by Muslim and non-Muslim, in Muslim country and non-Muslim country. Why? Because Imam was going through the divine values that based on the human nature created by God. Some people never have been to Iran, never have read even one verses of Holy Quran. But they beloved Imam Khomeini in some very far. But they beloved Imam Khomeini because he was really against racism, against terrorism, against imperialism. All the ills and all these different practices that capturing human being as a slave for them, Imam was against them. Zionism. No enemy for Zionism like Imam Khomeini. As no enemy for racism like Imam Khomeini. So we believe Imam Khomeini is alive because his values is alive. He is beloved in Iran, not only in Iran, in different Muslim countries, but also in non-Muslim countries. Imam Khomeini has a lot of beloveds. Because Imam was sincere in whatever he's telling. And his support for mustazafin, the oppressed people, was not a slogan. Because Imam Khomeini was telling in many occasions, I don't exchange one thread of hair of the oppressed in return for the oppressors. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.